The prime mover of national development that transformed former military bases and properties into premier centers of economic growth has tripled its investments in the first quarter of the year. This and more in tonight's Business Wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
In our business news, the Bases Conversion and Development Authority, or BCDA, has tripled its investments in the first quarter of 2025 to 7.72 billion pesos from 2.49 billion last year. BCDA President and CEO Joshua Bincang said this was brought by the surge in investments in properties of government-owned and controlled corporations, particularly the new Clark City in Tarlac and Camp John Hay in Baguio City. Local investors poured in 5.81 billion pesos, while foreign investors contributed 1.91 billion pesos. The Science Park of the Philippines previously signed a 50-year lease with BCDA to develop a 100-hectare industrial park in New Clark City worth 2.7 billion pesos. A Filipino-South Korean consortium also announced a 4.8 billion peso housing facility, a portion of which will support President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino program. In Camp John Hay, 4 local firms committed new investments in food and hospitality following BCDA's recovery of the 247-hectare property. Meanwhile, the United States has expressed continued support for the Luzon Economic Corridor, or LEC, despite the Trump administration's order to stop government financing programs in different countries. Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs Frederick Go said the U.S. Trade and Development Agency has increased its grant funding for the pre-feasibility study of the Subic-Clark-Manila-Batangas Cargo Railway from $2.5 million to $3.8 million. Go said the increased grant for this SCMB study reflects growing investor confidence as well as Washington's continued support for the Philippines' development priorities. The SCMB Freight Rail is the flagship project of the LEC, which seeks to link key industrial and trade zones in Subic Bay, Clark, Manila, and Batangas. And that's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Marita Muahe for Balitang Pambansa.